Hello and welcome to my tropical style garden here in the UK. This is going to be part 3 of my garden transformation where I've been working on my new yin yang design and my path. I've managed to get some more work done, so let's have a little look around the garden and see where we're at. Right, since the last video, which I was moving the tree ferns, I've managed to get some of the hard landscaping in. So we now have the cobbles going through, creating the yin yang shape, which this side is all going to be returfed and lawn, and this side is going to be planting with ponds. I've now got most of the pathing. We've reused the cobbles that were took up from before and created the path coming round. In the last video I mentioned I didn't know where this tree fern was going to go, but I decided to put it back in this area. I've raised it up with some rocks. They're not in a finalised position, but it's allowed me to build that soil up enough that I can now, it's probably, these fronds are about 6 foot, so I can just about walk under them. And as the new fronds come out, there'll be another inch or so higher, so they're probably a little lower than I thought, but I actually like the idea that I'm just walking under them. So the path, we dug it out, stoned it up using 100 mil approximately of granite and dust hardcore, which is known in the UK as MOT type 1. We then compacted that down, and then on top of that we bedded the edge cobbles in, and then the cobbles in between. It's still got to be grouted, but I won't do that until I've done a lot of the work and jet washed all the cobbles a lot cleaner. Then going around here, this is the first of my bridges. It's not totally fixed down yet. I have to lift it up and bolt it from underneath because I didn't want to see any of the fixings from the top, so all the screws and bolts are coming from underneath. Now what I've done here is these are made out of what we call here railway sleeper timbers, but realistically they're just 8x4 treated timber, and I've notched out the bottoms because that's allowed it to sink into the beams below, and that's going to allow to see less of the beam below and make these almost look like they're floating. So if I move around here, obviously I've started to dig out underneath, and hopefully the water level of the pond will be probably a couple of inches lower than the lowest part of the bridge. So if I move around here, hopefully we'll see. So I'm hoping that when this is all dug out and the water goes down, it will almost look like they're floating because we won't be able to see the beams that they're on. I also had to cut these 4 in the middle into a fan shape to make them curve round, but it really has given me the interest that I wanted and that sense of journey. As I walk around here now, part of my idea in the original design was this sort of slowed me down. There's going to be water here, it's going to run round and into the pond here. It's going to make me look and wonder what's going on next. Then I'll carry on round. This is going to open up, I'll be able to see the pond to the left. I'll have another bridge to cross the stream. Now originally I think I was going to, and I mentioned that the bridge was probably going to be a little bit further across, and I was going to take this waggy out. The yellow wave's probably still coming out, and I was going to go across there to the back pond. But once I actually got setting it all out, I realised that that stream was going to be very straight, and it didn't quite tie in to the curve going round to the back to make it a nice smooth curve, which was part of what I wanted it to do. So I've took a lot of this back paving out, it's got to be replaced, and now I think what's going to happen is the stream's going to come round, and it's going to allow me to come round here and get a nice S curve, which will give it a lot more character, and then go round to the back, which if I'd gone through there, it would have went straight across in there and have been, yeah, I could have used the rocks to make a little bit of a zigzag, but I've got such sweeping curves in it, I just thought that it would look nice going right round and back in. Now, sometimes from the original plans, gardens change and things evolve, and you feel like they're not quite working. And something that has probably massively changed now that from my original design was obviously this was going to go more through there, and then this path was then going to curve round and go to my cabin. But what I'm now thinking is I'd like this to be a nice sweeping thing round stream, and then if I bring this new path around here, it will hardly curve and it'll be right close to the stream, and I'm not sure I quite want that because I want a more natural feel to the stream. So it got me thinking, because I was going to retake these plants out, I have quite a big border under there. This whole border is probably nearly 3 meters big, and I thought, what if I curve the path round and through there, then I can put all planting in between here and the stream, allowing the stream to go round there, all planting here, and this space behind here is just wasted. There's just a few hellebores and bits behind there, but now I can actually walk through under all that canopy of palms and come out at the other end. So that would mean moving a few plants, which I had to do anyway. So that would then, coming around here, would sort of bring me out in this area and then curve in. And then from there to there, I would create like a walkway, a really subtle gravel walkway or stepping stones going round and then to the bridge at the back. But that would allow for this stream to come right round here, and then all planting in this area and the path further to the right. So I just feel like I'd gain so much more of a sense of journey by doing that than if the stream went round and the path was just right next to it. I think the other thing is that really stuck out in my head is as I walk down this path, it all flows towards the back. But as I got to here and that path curved around there, it would naturally flow. Do I go that way or go that way? But actually by now going into there, this is going to proper tee off. And now that gives me a decision to make as I walk round. It's not a natural, oh, do I carry on walking? I've now got to decide, do I turn right and go around that way? And I think that is more interesting than just letting it flow. That sort of turn in between all them plants, that allow all them extra shade plants to go through there and then come back out. Yeah, it means I've got to move a few things, but most of these Fatseas are 10 foot tall, can be pruned right back to near the fence and allow me quite an easily pathway to do it. I did consider it a couple of years ago, putting stepping stones through there, but I think now is probably the time to clear these plants out, have a look to see how that's going to make me feel. Having the stream there, plants there, and now walking through there. I just feel it's going to be so much more interesting to the garden than my original plan, which would have just brought it round to there. Not dead sure yet until I clear the space, see what I've got to work with. I was taking all these plants out anyway, maybe apart from the waggy, so not too much to worry about there. But yeah, it's starting to take shape. This bit here, this is obviously going to be my lawn. This plant's going to have, these rocks are just chucked here, this isn't finished at all. These are all going to get some nice new rocks here, all fought out, and then some, probably another taller yucca and some yuccas, agaves and stuff like that. And then here I've just thought I want to keep it quite subtle, so I can still walk through here. I'm going to bring some rocks around here, maybe a nice rock in there, and then just have some pebbles or gravel to allow me that I don't have to go all the way around to get to the back of the garden. I'm trying to make it feel subtle, because this pond is going to have these rocks around it and these pebbles and the gravel. Then I can sort of move that pebbles and gravel into this border and just do very sort of cycad, yuccas, succulent type planting, and the rocks and pebbles will look absolutely brilliant against them. I have a couple of nice agaves I might be able to get in, all depending on the room. I would have to probably dig a load of that soil over. Even though the drainage is really good, I'd probably add a lot more, maybe raise it up with the rocks and add a lot more gravel and stuff like that. So this is just a brief look round. At the moment I have pulled my back, unfortunately, so I've had a couple of days off work now, from the garden and from real life work. Hopefully that gets better soon, because I'm dying to get out here and start planting up some more of the stuff and getting some more of the landscaping done. But I thought I'd give you a quick update. Any thoughts, please leave it in the comments. Give us a like if you want. Follow the journey, and really excited about the way it's going. Just a little frustrated that I'm now going to be delayed for a little bit, but hopefully I can be back on it as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.